If I could only start one thing indoors for my garden every year, it would be tomatoes. And today I am going to show you the 3 different ways I have started mine this year. Hi, I'm Amanda and welcome back to The Provident Gardener. Today is one of the most exciting days of the year for me because I am starting my tomatoes. If I could only grow one thing indoors to then transplant out into my garden, it would be tomatoes. And I didn't always start tomatoes indoors. When I first started gardening, I went to a nursery or a greenhouse and bought plants. But when you grow a lot of tomatoes, that can add up fast. And this year I'm looking at growing close to 40 tomato plants. If I bought all 40 of those plants, that wouldn't be very economical for me. Tomatoes are also, in my opinion, one of the most rewarding plants to grow from seed. It never ceases to amaze me every year how I can start these tiny little seeds. And by the end of the growing season, they are these huge plants, sometimes 10 feet tall, full of foliage, full of tomatoes that I use to feed my family. And tomatoes really are the backbone of our garden. From eating and snacking fresh to preserving. We can salsa, we make our own pasta sauce. There are people who make their own ketchup. Even just canning your own diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes. Tomatoes are so versatile when it comes to preserving. Now, in years past, I've always started my tomatoes in these red cups here, and it's worked wonderfully. I have great plants, they produce well, they grow well, but I like trying new things. So today, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to start tomatoes. We're going to do the red cups, these amazing trays from Vego Garden that they sent me. I am so excited to use these. Just wait, I'm going to put them to the test. And then some soil blocking. I tried soil blocking for the first time a few weeks ago. We're going to do it with tomatoes today. I am going to get started with my tried and true method of starting my tomato seeds in these red cups. If you want a little bit more detail on how I do this, go watch the video I made when I started my pepper seeds. But I reuse these cups year after year. I do want to always note, I have my soil here. You don't want it sopping wet, but you want a little bit of water to come out when you squeeze it. With my other seeds, I fill it up all the way. We are not going to do that with the tomatoes. I'm going to fill it up about maybe 3/4 of the way. So about like this. I've got like maybe 1.5 inches open at the top. So we left that space at the top. These seeds are a little bit older. I normally do 2, I'm going to do 3. So we'll make our little hole. They need to be about 1/4 inch deep. We'll drop the seeds in and cover it up. Now the reason I do the soil level lower is because tomatoes are a little bit different than other plants. And if you've ever seen a tomato stem, you'll notice how it's kind of hairy. Well, if those little hairs all over the stem are covered up, they're going to turn into roots. So what I'll do is I'll let this tomato grow. Once it gets a few, maybe 3 or 4 sets of true leaves, probably about this tall, I'm going to cut off any of the lower leaves, and then I will fill this up to the top, or almost to the top. And what's going to happen is then even more roots will start to grow. And the idea is that you'll get a stronger root system for when you go plant that out in the garden and your tomato has a head start. So 1 down and 47 to go. So let's get all these tomatoes planted up. Cups are all done, planted with tomato seeds. In a few weeks, they'll be growing. And once they get a few inches tall, I'll come back in and I'll fill these cups to the top. I've got 4 baskets of 12 cups each. I'll take them down to the basement and get them on heat mats. That will help aid germination. Next up, I'm going to plant in these cell trays from Vego Garden. And I am so excited. The quality on these is amazing. I reached out to Vego and asked if they would send me a couple of these to review. And I was a little bit skeptical, but as soon as I opened the box and took them out, I was sold. I was so impressed. Like I'm trying to, there's the tiniest bit of give. Like these are solid. They stack nicely for storage. And then even the tray they sit in, there's a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of give, but like I could carry this full just by the tray with one hand. They also have a humidity dome for each cell tray that sits on here, and then a larger one if you will just want to use one heat dome to cover everything. But what sold me on these more than anything is how to water them. Sometimes with these little seedlings, you can bottom water, but if you want to top water till they germinate, it's hard. You don't want to displace soil, or if they are just starting to come up, you don't want to disturb them. Right here, this is a water reservoir. So this isn't 9 cells, it's 8. There's not one in the middle because there's this reservoir. What you do with this humidity dome on, you put water in here. There's a little slit in the humidity dome at the bottom of the reservoir, and water drops down in, a little drop at a time, into this. There's a channel going into each cell to water each cell. I love that so much. Watering can be a pain in the butt, and this is going to make it so much easier. Now, just in comparison, I want to show you just a run-of-the-mill seed tray starting setup I've used before. I was going for the cheapest option out there just to get what I could, and I'll just tell you right now, I hated it. So very affordable. They did not work for me. Everything I planted in these died because they just weren't convenient. They weren't easy to use. So you've got these 6 cell trays. That's what you're dealing with. Like, look. So as soon as it would get bumped or squeezed or try to get something out, or if they would get too, soil in here would get too dried out, I couldn't rehydrate it well. It was a pain. So these have just been sitting in my garage, not being used. And then these are not horrible. They're okay for some things, but sometimes I'd go to pick up a tray and it'd be wobbly, sides are breaking. So get rid of that stuff. This is an investment. I think it's worth it. These are going to last for several years. So I'm excited to show you my tomatoes in these, and I will show progress as they start to germinate, and we'll do comparisons with the cups and with the other seed starting method I'm doing for the tomatoes today. So let's get these filled up with soil and planted. I just got 64 tomato plants started in this one tray, compared to the baskets where I did 48, and that was 4 baskets. This takes up a lot less space, and these trays are designed to do air pruning. You can see the slits here on the sides and the holes in the bottom, and air pruning should give these plants a much healthier, stronger root system. I'm excited to see how these do compared to the cups. Okay, the last method I am using to start my tomato seeds is soil blocking. I made a video a few weeks ago showing soil blocking as a beginner. It is recommended that you sift your soil before you put it in the soil blocks and put it in the tray. I decided to be a little bit lazy, and I like trying new things and seeing what works. So I have not sifted this. There are some bigger little chunks of wood that if they get in the way, I'll kind of pull them out, but I'm going to see how it goes, not sifting it. So we're going to get this all filled with soil blocks and filled with tomato seeds. So in this 10 by 20 tray, I was able to do 36 2-inch soil blocks. So I will get 36 tomato plants out of this tray right here. It actually worked surprisingly well to not filter the soil. I think these soil blocks, the 2-inch cubes, are actually big enough that the little pieces of wood and twigs that might get in there don't really make that big of a difference. Now, if you were doing smaller soil blocks, especially the little mini ones they have, you would need to filter your soil because any twigs, any little pieces of wood would make those soil blocks unsuccessful. All of the tomatoes that I am going to plant in my garden this summer have been started. Now, where I live in Zone 6, I can't put tomatoes outside until mid to late spring. So starting them indoors for me is essential. I'm going to get all of these on heat mats, and when they germinate, they're going to go under lights. And we should have beautiful tomato starts come May when I can put them outside. Starting seeds indoors is the perfect way to extend your growing season. I have really come to love gardening. And I haven't always started my seeds indoors, but it is something that I have really come to appreciate. When I take those tiny little seeds and plant them in soil and nurture them and take care of them and see these gigantic plants that they are able to grow into, it brings me so much joy. I'm excited to compare these three methods of starting my tomato seeds to see if there's any noticeable difference. And if there is a noticeable difference, maybe next year I'm only doing one seed starting method. Have you started your tomatoes indoors yet? And how do you prefer to do it? For zone 6, we're right at the beginning of that 6 to 10 week window before our last frost date. So I'm doing a lot of seed starting, and I hope you will too. And as always, don't be afraid to get a little dirt under your fingernails so you can turn that dirt into dinner. I'm going to be turning these tomatoes into some delicious salsa and lots of other things.